let's talk through some Chapter 9 material. In Chapter 9, we talked about decision making. And so there are two types of decisions we want to consider: either or decisions and how much decisions. For either or, it's going to base off what we call our economic profit. And to do that, you get your accounting profits and you subtract off your opportunity cost. And remember, accounting profit takes revenue, total revenue, minus total explicit cost. Okay? And if our economic profit is greater than or equal to 0, well, that's going to tell us to either continue doing what we're doing because we're indifferent between what we're currently doing and what we could be doing. Or if we see that it's less than 0, it means that our opportunity costs outweigh our accounting profit, and so we should probably do something else. So that's why we call it an either or decision. How much decisions? Well, what we do is we compare marginal benefit to marginal cost. Okay? And that's going to tell us how much of something to produce. So how about we do this first example and let's read through the problem. Marty runs a bakery that employs 10 workers who each work 50 weeks a year and earn $400 a week. In addition, Marty has rent of $50,000 a year, and the total cost for supplies and raw materials total $125,000 a year. Marty has been approached by another baker in town who's willing to pay him $75,000 a year to come work for her. Also, Marty could sell his business for $100,000. The current interest on the deposits at Marty's bank is 5%. So what he can do is take the $100,000 and get 5% interest on that $100,000 per year. Marty's total yearly revenue is $440,000, and we're going to assume there's no depreciation on his equipment. So we don't have to worry about depreciation in this example. And here's what we want to know. Should Marty continue to operate his business given what we're told? So let's see. So we're going to do this by finding the economic profit. And so to do that, we're going to conduct a few steps. So I want a new page. First, let's get his explicit cost. Okay? So he has labor. So he has 10 workers. Each worker works 50 weeks a year, and they make $400 a week each, giving us a total of $200,000. His rent is $50,000 a year, and his other stuff, raw materials and supplies, is $125,000, giving us a total explicit cost of, add the three together, and you get $375,000. So now to get his accounting profits, the total revenue was $440,000. His total explicit cost is $375,000. And you get $65,000. an accounting profit. Okay? So now let's figure out what his opportunity costs are. Well, he can earn 5% interest on 100,000 for selling his business, giving us $5,000, and he can earn 75,000 for working for someone else, giving us a total of 80,000. So to get his economic profit, take pi is equal to the accounting profit minus opportunity cost. So 65,000 minus 80,000 gives you negative 15,000, which is less than zero. So because of this less than zero, what should we do? Advise him to sell. Because his opportunity cost exceeds his accounting profit. And so he's not being as efficient with his time as he could be. So that's the either or decision making we've talked about. Now let's review how much decision making. So suppose in this example, Rose calculates the marginal cost for her business can be expressed by MC equals to 2Q, where Q is the quantity of units she produces. Furthermore, the marginal benefit she receives from producing her product can be expressed by MB is equal to 200 minus 4Q. So I'm going to take a second and graph let this be Q, and then let this be dollars per unit. So 2Q is going to look something like this. So there's your marginal cost. And let's see so this is marginal cost. This is marginal benefit. And let's see what's happening. You see up here that marginal cost exceeds marginal benefit until you get to this point right here. And I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Marginal benefit exceeds marginal cost until you get to that point. And then marginal cost starts to exceed marginal benefit, which you go to that point. So let's interpret that. As you're approaching whatever this intersection is, you're receiving additional benefit from production. And so you want to keep producing as long as you can until you get to that point. But then once you exceed that point, your marginal cost is exceeding the additional benefit you receive. And so you want to stop producing. And so we want to get her optimal quantity of production. And that's always going to be when marginal benefit is equal to marginal cost. So 200 minus 4Q equals 2Q. 200 is equal to 6Q. Divide both sides by 6. And you get Q, if you divide both, 100 over 3, or 33.3 units. right? So her optimal quantity to produce is 33.3 units. Typically, these will have nicer answers. But for this world, we're just going to assume this is okay. So that's how much we want to produce when marginal benefit is equal to marginal cost. Okay.